Hello, boys and girls. It is Roxors, and I play games. And it is a new installment of Theorycraft Thursday. Today, we are going to theorize about the other two alliances. So if you joined me last week, one, thank you. But two, we did a chaos wizardry build built around Lord of Change. And those are in the playlist for deck builds. And we also did an all-wizard destruction build with Stink Mullet and all sorts of fun greenskin stuff. And we did pretty well with both of them, to be honest. So we are going to try to round out our Wizards Matter decks. And we are going to start with the Grand Alliance of Order. So here's what we've got so far for Order decks, but we are doing a new one because we are doing a live deck build. And I know what you're saying. Roxors, we've seen this before. Everyone plays Celestant Prime. Everyone plays Aspect of the Sea. No. We are not going to use those guys. I'm looking at Lord Relictor? Relictor? I like Relictor. Relictor, I damn near killed her. Anyway, so this guy, I mean, he just screams for build around, right? So when this champion, or a card controlled by this champion, grants you 4 or more health, you can rotate a unit next to him 1 step backwards. Seems like a pretty strong interaction. So much like my other live deck builds, that's the guy we kind of want to work around. We know we need some semblance of healing, so we're just going to add 1 right now and kind of get into it. So healing, I'm going to go to spells first. I think the obvious inclusion is Warding Light, because it does 4 damage and we gain 4 health. I'd like to think that this is probably one of the best spells in the game, because that's an 8-point swing. You know, they go down 4, you go up 4. Seems really good. And 4 is our magic number to rotate backwards. So, yeah, buddy. For all I know, that's Lord Relictor in the art. There are no other Healy spells. This only does 2. Is that per turn, or is that in 1 shot? Champions. Grants you 4 more. So it has to be in 1 shot. Okay. Let's go to abilities. I think the other healing ability right here, Gift of Sigmar. Gain 1 health, increase it by 2 for each Stormcast unit. So we would need 2 Stormcast units in play, and then we would get 5 to make that happen. So I think that's a 3 of. 2, 3. I think Triumphant Smash is always a 3 of. That also gives us some rotation back shenanigans. And I think now we just need to look at what units do we want to rotate back. These guys are short, so like having them rotate back is instant damage and it locks down a lane. So I think Raptors always seems like a good idea. These guys wouldn't be bad because they can shut down a lane as well. They don't do a ton of damage. But something like Destruction, you know, you can shut down an entire lane. Also, we're looking at things that, like, so Warding Light is 3 corners, right? So if we do Warding Light in a unit, we want both of them to land in an intelligent way, so that this does 4 damage, heals you for 4, and it rotates a unit back. So the Raptors can get kind of clunky, because if I were to play them on the same turn, obviously the Raptor is going to rotate off before I can rotate it back. So you would have to play it, you know, the next turn or something to that extent. So I think we want long rotating guys. These guys wouldn't be that bad. It has to be Stormcast, though. That's what we have to remember, because the Gift of Sigmar is only Stormcast. So long rotating Stormcast guys. These guys buff, but our wizard's going to be next to it, so there's no point in that. I think Longstrike Raptor is the obvious right here. Because if you think about it, granted he's only got 2 damaging corners, but the trickiest thing to do is on the 3rd X is to remove with Triumphant Smash, which rotates him back to his 2. Obviously there's nothing in front of him now, so it does 4 damage. Also, we can play this next to Warding Light for 2 turns. Either we can play Warding Light and this, or we could play Warding Light and then this one, or we could play this one first and then Warding Light the next turn. So we have a little flexibility with when we can play this guy. So I think this is going to be our workhorse. Yes, I think this is a good one. So let's, again, if you guys have noticed, I always do 3 of, and I think his cousin, the Skybolt, might be a good option too. He only does the 4 when he gets to the 3rd. I also feels like it just begs for removal, which is kind of good. These guys too, that's 6 damage over 4 turns, and it's relative in the middle when, we rotate it back. He could be on the 3 corner, he does his 3, and we rotate it back to a 2, that's a Star Drake, that's 5 damage right there. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's do, because that's just relative damage. We also have to realize that we can't just focus on one lane, so I think maybe, that guy chilling in the corner, just eventually getting the 6 damage, I think is a good threat. Alright, so we've got a good stable of Stormcast units so far. We already got the Triumphant Smashes. Tacticals we're probably not going to want, because I think we're going to have a pretty set lineup. Alright, so now we got to think who is going to accept the units, right? So in a perfect world, we've got somebody who's unit damage, meaning quest, so unit and then damage is just logical. So that's kind of what we want to do. I don't think there's anybody that does that. Unit damage. We got damage unit. And this guy's kind of cool in that he also punishes somebody who wants to get rid of units. So if we play, all of these units are reliable, or not reliable, are valuable. So we don't want them removed. This punishes them if they do remove. So maybe Vandus is a good... And now I'm kind of understanding that it's probably going to be like Guy, Vandus, Lord Relictor next to him, and then another guy. So if the guy to the left of Vandus was like a knight, like a dupe, because then he could push him forward, or is that counterproductive to what we're doing going backwards? Yeah, we might not want to accelerate our guys. You know what we could do? Because now I'm thinking, if we've got Warding Light on something, obviously you can't play Gift of Sigmar, and there's other things that we probably will play if we play Wizards, like Righteousness and stuff. So I think what we do to kick it up a notch is add a second Lord Relictor, because that just sounds spicy. Yeah, I think that's good. Because now we can do Lord Relictor, Vandus, Lord Relictor, and just throw a bunch of units on Vandus, taunt them to remove it, and then put all sorts of Healy bits all around it. That sounds cool. Now that leaves us with 2. So our choices are either a Dork, which is this guy, which again I don't like because it has damage first, which kind of makes it so that you have to play like Piercing Shot. But maybe we're going to play Piercing Shot anyway. Our other option is Knight Azoros, which his Rend ability isn't really going to do anything, but at least he can accept a unit first. And then he's got ability, and then he's got damage. So that seems like a good... It could quest quickly if it's like Paladin Decimator, Piercing Shot, there's 2. And then obviously the next turn the Decimator does damage. Okay, that might... I mean, that's going to hurt our health, for sure. Ooh, 28. Yowza. Okay. And then the Vandus obviously wants damage unit and a removal. So I think removal is going to be easy because we can get removal much by playing the long strikes to say, hey, you need to play a guy in front of here, and then boom, we've got Triumph and Smash. All right. So with that being said, I think we'll up the hey, you have to remove me thing with the Skybolts. And then that gives us a pretty healthy 12, if you want to call that healthy. I think we need abilities now. Can't do Lord of the Host because nobody has 7. Divine Vengeance is situational, so it's not like we necessarily... I mean, that'd be kind of cool to essentially swing 9. If they really need to get rid of somebody on Vandus, that'd be kind of cool. I think Piercing Shots is the thing. It also does damage for purposes of rotating Vandus or Knight Azorius. So let's just throw 3 in there. Where are we at? We're at 24. I think now we have to look at what spells we need for mitigating. I think a couple Mystic Shields would be good. Realistically, I think we run a couple Celestial Fates. Because we need to get cards if we need to get cards, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. So we've got 2 more spots. I think we're good on units, to be honest. We've got 12. Doesn't seem like a lot, but now we've got Celestial Fates. We only have 2 spots to put them, so the worst thing is to not draw your spells. And we also have to remember that it is healing spell, ability spell, so we do need the Celestial Fates for that ability. We've got the Sigmar too, but we might have to blow a Sigmar to get our healing quest rotated. So I think abilities were good. Spells. Got a couple Mystic Shields. I think that's good. I feel like Righteousness is the next obvious. Then we've also got Inspired Glory. I mean, Inspired Glory next to a Skybolt is a pretty obvious interaction. But multiple Inspired Glories can always be bad when you draw them. It does give us healing. That is a good idea. If I did 2 of these, and then we don't have any Righteousness, is that the right play? I think we take out 1 single unit. Do I want it to be a Raptor? Or do I want it to be a Skybolt because they're slower? Or do I want them for the threat? I kind of like the set it and forget it nature of Skybolt. You do have to babysit Raptors a little bit, but they do just shut down a lane. I think we do the Raptors just because sometimes you're going to want damage to get a rotation. So we'll go down 1 Judicator. If I add Righteousness, I don't necessarily need to add a bunch of Mystic Shields. So where are we at now? We got Warding Lights, 2 Mystic Shields, 3 Gift of Sigmars. Do I drop a Gift? Gift of Sigmar is kind of our... I could also see that that's like another form of mitigation, you know, keeping your life up. If you watch the other videos, it did really well for us to heal. I mean, I could go a 1 of on Celestial Fate, but then I feel like we're not really using it properly. Let's do a 1 of Inspired Glory. Because again, if you draw like a couple of those, it's really bad. Having it sit, and then there's sometimes that you don't want it just sitting out there all game. It's fine on Aspect of the Sea, but you know, sometimes they just play around it. So it's nice to be able to put that down, and then they play around it, and you go, okay, fine, I'll just take 2 healing. Then you get one of your quests rotated with Lord Relictor, so that's not bad. That leaves me 2 spots, I guess, for 2 righteousness. That mitigates 2 damage, and does 3 damage to push up our clock. I really want to throw like a storm shield in there, because I feel like sometimes, especially against chaos, they got one of those lanes coming up, and you just blank it. It's a good feeling. Do we want any of the restart or, Surge of Justice? It's a restart. That's like a cool one of too. You know what? I mean, we're playtesting, so why? It is it's 4 corners too, though. So maybe that isn't a good play, but it's also kind of another way to utilize Lord Relictor's, not restart ability, but just we'll leave it out for now. If we can't rotate back enough, or if we're too slow, then maybe it's something that we do. That's 30. I think I'm happy with it. I think we've got a good mix of things. We've got a little bit of a Swiss Army package. We got the Celestial Fate to grab what we need. We got smashes in here. Yeah, we do. All right, off to blessings, right? So I think blessings, we're a little more control-y than your average bear. I don't see a reason why. Oh man, I wish there was a 4 on here. That was sweet. I think we do a Healing Storm, because I can see situations where they're just running at us. I can see situations where they're not across from us, because it's like a wizard and they're focusing on putting stuff across the unit, the warriors. So Swift Judgment seems like a good option. I don't see any reason not to play Divine Blast. Gives us a little bit of healing as well. And then what's the last one? Do we just do Abjuration? Or do we do, like, Armor? Armor's in a Shotgun Blast. So we have to think. So if Vandus... I would assume Vandus would be, like, the first guy that we get. So if it pops there, it's great. But so is Abjuration. Blessed Weapons could show up and not do what we want it to do, or it could be really bonkers, meaning we get to rotate back and rotate this thing crazy forward. I think this is too slow. We only have 12 or even 11 guys now. I don't see any reason we need to move. I think we'll just start with the armor. And there you have it, guys. We have a pretty cool looking deck, I think. Hopefully it works. If our life total is an issue, then I think we ditch this guy and just roll with the dork. But I think I like what we have as a package for the actions. So, yeah, let's get right into it with some games. We're going to call this... I don't even know. Theorycraft. Something like that. Theorycraft. Why does X keep on happening? There we go. I like it. Alright, join me in the next video, guys, for some gameplay. And let's take this for a spin. Thanks for watching, and rock stars your boxers. I'll see you soon.